Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's a beautiful morning here in Appalachia. I can hear the birds singing. Feels like spring. Makes me really anxious to get out into the garden. But when I think about St. Patrick's Day, my mind immediately goes to pinching. If you don't wear green, you get pinched. Now, when I was a girl going to Martins Creek Elementary School, Martins Creek School it's called, but it was my elementary school, that was a huge deal. Every year, no matter what grade you were in, you got involved in the pinching. I'm sure the teachers dreaded to see that day coming. Now, most of the time, the pinches were just done in fun. No one was hurting anybody, just a gentle pinch. Sometimes on the bus ride home, especially, and with the boys, they'd get kind of rough, and they might hurt each other sometimes. But it was all done in fun, and we all looked forward to that day. Now, sometimes people would sneakily wear their green. Most folks would have a green shirt, maybe a green book bag, or green pants, green jacket, something like that. But sometimes they would put them, maybe underneath they had a pin, or underneath their jacket they had a green shirt on. And after I was writing for the Blind Pig and the Acorn, I read one time a different part of the tradition was that if someone pinches you and you do have green on and you prove to them, then you get to pinch them 10 times. I said, if only I'd known that when I was back at Martins Creek, that would have really made our day of pinching even more fun. Now, after that, I asked Granny and Pap, one time when I was writing on the Blind Pig and the Acorn, I said, did people pinch if you didn't wear green when you were a kid on St. Patrick's Day? And they both said no, they never heard of that until their kids come along. And in fact, they didn't even know about St. Patrick's Day until they were grown. During that same time, I asked some of the folks some of my readers on Blind Pig and the Acorn, what they thought about it and if they had ever experienced the pinching. And this is what they had to say, a few of them. So Tim Hassel, he said, I remember getting pinched if you didn't wear green, or if you did wear green, it was an opportunity for the kids to cut up. Mostly I remember St. Patrick's Day as the day we planted orange potatoes. That's the other thing that's very common in my area of Appalachia is you'll hear lots of people say, on St. Patrick's Day, they're going to plant their orange potatoes. Maybe they'll set out a few onions, little onion sets, but mostly it's the day to plant orange potatoes. So really, St. Patrick's Day in Appalachia, in my area of southern Appalachia, is the time when the garden really kind of gets going and starts. So Ken Roper, he said, Tipper, out of respect for the Irish tradition, I try to wear something green on St. Patrick's Day. I'm like Pap, never heard of this pinching stuff growing up, but my daddy sure could pinch. One time in church, my brother got me to noticing a wasper bumping his head on the ceiling. That got me to sniggering, and here come Daddy. He caught us by the ears, and out the door we went. After we came back in, that wasper wasn't so funny anymore. It makes me think of a time in church when Corey and Katie were cutting up, like Tim was saying. And I was trying to get their attention, and I can't remember which one of them, but one of them I pinched to try to say, I'd already tried to tell them to be quiet, to get their attention. Well, then it kind of went wrong on me because, of course, what did they do? They said, oh, Mama, you pinched me. So then I was not only embarrassed that they were cutting up, I was embarrassed because I had pinched them. So that's a funny memory. Ron Banks says, top of the morning to you. I found this in regard to getting pinched on St. Patrick's Day. Forget to wear green on St. Patty's Day? Don't be surprised if you get pinched. No surprise, it's an entirely American tradition that probably started in the early 1700s. St. Patrick's revelers thought that wearing green made one invisible to leprechauns, fairy creatures who would pinch anyone they could see, in other words, anyone not wearing green. People began pinching those who didn't wear green as a reminder that leprechauns would sneak up and pinch green abstainers. Very interesting. Another comment that was made, I remember back in those days that I remembered because of a connection to Pap, was Ed Ammons. He said he never had to worry about wearing green because he had green eyes, so he was good to go. Well, Pap had green eyes, so if there had been any pinching going on when Pap was a boy, I guess he would have been good to go too, like in a similar way as Ed. Another thing that's common in Appalachia on St. Patrick's Day is the meal that people eat. A lot of people eat corned beef and cabbage. Now, I'm sure that extends well beyond the region of Appalachia. I had never eaten corned beef though until I met Matt. I don't remember if we were dating or if we had just been married just for a little bit, but his mother, Miss Cindy, makes wonderful corned beef with cabbage and potatoes. That and a cake of cornbread is just a feast. It's so good. Also, a lot of people make Irish soda bread, so I just did a video on Irish soda bread. If you're not familiar with that, you can check that out. So lots of different things going on when I think of St. Patrick's Day, from the planting the Irish potatoes, mostly the pinching, but also planting, people getting out in their gardens, and then the meal, that wonderful food. Another thing though, one other thing I think about is fiddle music, fiddle tunes. I love fiddle music, and I used to say that I wish I just had a fiddler to follow me around and go everywhere I wanted playing fiddle music. Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, I kind of do, because I have Katie, and she's a wonderful fiddler. So I'm going to leave you with sharing one of the fiddle tunes that she plays, which is Star of the County Down, if I get the name right. Now, if you search for that song, Star of the County Down, you'll find there's other kind of variations of it. There's kind of a peppy one, and there's versions that have words that are really wonderful, but the one that Katie plays is very mournful, but just beautiful, just really beautiful. And I hope that you had a wonderful St. Patrick's Day, and I hope you enjoy Katie's playing.